Oh, there it is. Hey. All right. So I am Mighty Thor. That Yeah, I'm just using that username. That's obviously not my real name. But anyway, I was just gonna interview some mods here. I think they're all pretty cool people, and you guys can introduce yourselves whenever before I get started. Dutch Dad, you can go first.
Thank you. I am Chad King, the Australian, resident Australian, and also resident Lebanese person. So, thank you.
All
That's
right.
it.
Did you want a more in-depth introduction or just who I am?
Yeah. If you say whatever you want, yeah, whatever you're comfortable with.
Okay, I'm interested in everything from like anime to video games to science. Um, Studied science for a considerable amount of time. Um, I'm interested in sort of everything from combat sports as well. I mean, I have such a broad range of interests that it's very hard to narrow it down. So I'm normally terrible at doing introductions. So yeah, that's me.
Well, that was a good introduction. You told me about yourself, anime, video games. Yeah, I play video games. Unfortunately, I don't play with anyone on the server because no one plays console, and I don't play PC. But that's cool.
Cool.
Nooble, you can introduce yourself. How have you been? Too
I
with school
like
and stuff.
Nuvo for my Discord alias is Nuvo. I'm one of the founders on the politics server, but no, I was not actually there when it was founded. Actually, technically, I was. I just wasn't someone who founded the server. Okay, whatever. Details. I am currently a university student, so I spend most of my time doing classwork. It takes like 80 hours a week. It's ridiculous. Sometimes it takes more. I just have too much work, but that's about it. If I do have time, I'll play something like Minecraft, but I hardly ever have time.
You're okay. And Pop AAP, did you wanna? Or were you just gonna listen, or am I allowed to ask
I
a
can
question?
join in. Yeah.
Okay, yeah. So you can introduce yourself before we.
I'm Popap on the mod team. I am the voice of the South. I'm an ex-collegiate football player. I'm still in university, and I own a small business. I don't have time for a whole lot of extra interest on the side at the moment. Play games when I have time, but other than that, it's just work and chill.
Yeah, video games are pretty cool, man. I have 129. I would have more, but since you guys don't play console, like console games are so expensive. Like they stay $60 to $70, most of them. But yeah, video games are pretty awesome. I was playing Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order. I don't know if you've played that before I hopped online. I almost forgot about the AMA. But yeah.
Yeah, that
All
can happen.
right. Yeah, I got the little triple bundle where it was Jedi Fallen Order, Squadrons, and Battlefront 2. I'm like, if only the movies can be this good. But yeah.
What's your favorite game of all time?
Oh man. God. Probably I'm gonna get hate for this. Probably Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2.
It's a G move. Hell yeah.
I not only have two, I have the remastered version of 2. So yeah, the graphics are so good. I've played it like 8 times, the campaign 8 times. Yeah, it's a great
Yeah, I
game.
think the Call of Duty series is pretty popular.
Yeah.
When did you get into the Call of Duty series?
I want to say right before I graduated high school, around that time, Black Ops 2 came out, and it was sci-fi, and I don't think there had been many sci-fi games before then about Call of Duty anyway, so I gave it a try, and I loved it, and I've been playing. I played different genres, but sci-fi is still my favorite, and Call of Duty is still my favorite to this day.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah. Alrighty, so thanks for the introduction. Thanks for the questions, guys. Sorry for all the trouble of having to come on to mobile, but here we go. Okay. And I guess I'm just gonna ask a question, and then I guess you guys can answer like it'll be like Chad, Newell, and then Pop App. You can answer in that order. And again, you can say whatever you're comfortable with. All right. You guys ready?
Yeah.
Yes,
Okay.
sir.
One, what are you thankful for? This can be people, but I really mean anything like positive things in your life that you are glad to have.
That's a very good question. I'm thankful for having good health. You especially notice all the good things that are going well when things go wrong. So I'm thankful for being, for the most part, like quite healthy. I'm thankful for having like a support like family that's helpful. Right, I have a good family structure that not everyone has that, so I take that for granted. I'm grateful for. Is it just one thing, or I can list a number of things?
Yeah, list whatever you want.
Oh yeah, and I'm grateful for having like a degree of security. There's a lot of people that um, oftentimes have struggle, and struggle is especially when there's very limited support or security. People find life can be very, very difficult. So having that just basic level of security, always having, I've never had to worry about food, never had to worry about shelter, never had to worry about just basic things like electricity and internet connection. Um, we take these things for granted, clean water, but if you don't have those things can be quite terrible. So I'm very grateful to have all those things in my life as a constant and expectation, really.
Yeah, yeah, man. I would say one of our biggest flaws, by that I mean people in general. I think one is lack of empathy or not being able to understand other people, and two, just not being grateful for what you have. I think if those two things could be fixed, everyone will be way more positive.
Can't say I disagree with
But
that.
yeah, okay. All right, Nubel, what are you thankful for? Who are you thankful
Besides
I'm
me.
thankful.
for? All right, we can't be
Thankful that
having
babies
pukey.
die. I'm thankful for, honestly just being born at the current era. I feel like if I was born any time period before now, I'd be so misfortunate. I'm thankful that I was born into a good family. That my parents instilled a good sense of morals and work ethic uh, and all that shit into me. They also are super hardworking and they provided well for me and everything. So I'm very thankful for that. I feel like I'm super fortunate in that category. I'm thankful for my friends. They are very sweet, I guess. I don't know. They care about me, and I think that's what matters. Um, I think that's most of it. I can't I'm broadly thankful for pretty much everything in my life. I'm thankful for brand new technology being made and any medical advancements that have made my life possible. Anything like that of that sort. That's about it. I
Oh,
don't
okay,
know.
yeah, that's cool. Yeah, I feel like if I had been born in any other era, I'd probably be dead right now.
Well, same dude.
I mean, not trying to
This,
sound racist, but honestly, hell, if I was born a few decades earlier, I'd probably be screwed too.
yeah.
Yeah. All right, Pop App, what are you grateful for?
As a guy who's made quite a handful of mistakes in my life, I think I'm most thankful for second chance. I've had a lot of people in my life who have
You're a
reached out
criminal.
and given me opportunities to prove myself better. And I think that's what I'm most thankful for. And it's that and it's just that because it includes a lot of people in my life, like from parents to friends to coaches. Just being able to prove myself better than my worst.
Yeah, so to piggyback off that, do you think everyone deserves second chances, or does it depend on what mistake was made?
I think everyone deserves a chance to prove themselves better. It doesn't necessarily mean they don't have to deal with the consequences of their mistake, though. But I think everyone does deserve the right to prove themselves better than their worst mistake.
So I guess what you're trying to say is to see if they still have potential. In other words, does that
Yeah.
person has potential? Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I think everyone makes mistakes, even the most noble or well-intentioned of people.
Yep.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Sounds about good. I know that I'm interviewing you guys. Is it okay, I guess, if I butt in and answer some of these, or?
Yeah,
Yeah.
feel
I
free.
would love that. No, yeah.
Okay, so what I'm thankful for, my family, which would be my mother and father, my mother, father, brother, and sister. And I have two friends. I'm thankful for them. And the reason I'm thankful for them is because they have just taught me to value school and hard work and honesty. And I value that in all of my friendships. And also just in any type of relationship, whether like I'm working or dating, I want people to be honest with me and respect me. If people are dishonest with me, I just can't trust them. Because it's like, if you can't be honest, that's just like you're wasting my time and yours if you can't just be upfront with me. I'm also thankful for my health. I mean, I have the back injury, but it's not so severe. It's manageable. And I obviously I can hear and see and walk, and I have all my limbs and stuff. I'm also thankful for being able to read because there are still many people, even in America, who are adults. There are adults who can't read. So I'm thankful of that because if I couldn't read, I would never be able to enjoy all of the science books that I read about. Uh, some on my shelf. I have one on rocket propulsion. I have another on astrophysics and cosmology, and some other books I have are on nuclear engineering. I have way more, but I just like reading, and honestly I couldn't imagine what it would be like if I couldn't read. I don't know how I would be able to deal with that. And I'm also thankful for, I mean, being in America for certain things, having access to education and a relatively safe society. I mean, America has flaws, but I would say it's still safer than being in other countries. So that's what I'm thankful for. I'm also thankful for you guys and the server because I do consider you guys friends and you guys do help me socialize and deal with being lonely.
Yeah, we enjoy
Yeah, I
having you
consider you a
around.
friend.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thanks. That means a lot. All right. The place you call home, I guess, what is that like? Like, is it? That's my second question for you guys. So, I don't mean like physical details like geography. I meant like, what are the people like and the culture and how are you treated and what have you learned wherever you guys live? I don't know where that's America or Europe or wherever. All right, chat team, we can start with you.
So, like, throughout my life, there's many places that I've considered home. So I'm going to interpret this question the way that I want. But, like, in terms of what I consider, it's places that I feel, like, comfortable and a place that I can express myself, a place that I identify with. So that can be, like, anything for me from my workplace, to a community, to my, like, the actual living situation. So there's so many places in my life that I have considered to be home. And they generally all follow the same sort of trends of just being a place where I feel accepted, a place where I feel valued, a place where I feel needed, wanted, where there's people that care about you. So even something like an online community can be like a second home. Even something like a workplace that a place that you've invested time and energy in, like an educational institution can be a home too. I never didn't feel at work walking through campus. Like I feel at home, walking through campus. You see the familiar people, the familiar faces, the familiar buildings. It does feel quite home-like. So those are places that I've considered home in the past and consider home now.
Nice. All right, Nubu, what is your home like, or what do you consider home to be like?
I'm constantly moving in between like my childhood home, like where I went to school, and where I go to university, because I go to university in a different state. So I don't know. So at home, like in currently, I am at my home where I grew up. I'm not at university at the moment because it's online, but um, I guess I only live with my mom here because my dad lives in China. But she I really like my mom. She will cut me fruit when I'm studying, and then we'll go on walks on the weekend. It's very like peaceful suburb life. Um, I guess that's what my home life is at home. But I do miss my university life. It's nothing against my living with my mom, but I just really miss my friends in university most of the time, and I also miss a lot of the independence that comes with living away from my parents. But I don't know, like my what I would consider home while I'm away at university is like going to my apartment and being able to unwind with my roommates who also consider my best friends. And it's like ritualistic thing. Like we get to cook dinner together every day, or if one of us has a bad day, we'll just go to each other's rooms and rant about, oh, this teacher sucks, or like, oh, I hate this class. It assigns so much homework, and it's really comforting. Uh, that's what I'd consider home at my university to be like. It's like me and my friends being super tight knit, and like we have like impromptu parties and stuff. Not so much during COVID, but like we used to, and like we'd always go over to each other's apartments and stuff, and like hang out with each other. It's like also my university itself. I guess it's just because it's a bunch of young adults, but like you can just really easily make friends like on the street and stuff. So like everybody out there is like outgoing. If I like wanted to talk to my neighbors, I can slip them a note, and then we can like go for boba together or something. Like I really like the community around my university where everybody's like super friendly and outgoing, and it's like really interesting to learn about different people. That's what I'd consider home at university here. And
Yeah, that's cool.
that's it.
College is cool. I think college is more. I think college is about learning. What I'm trying to say, it's not just about learning academic stuff. I think it's about learning how to be a better person, so to speak, and socializing and learning how to live in the world. Because technically, if you go to college, you are an adult legally. You're expected to learn, adult things, and sounds like you've got a handle. Sounds pretty cool. And I know you got a lot of work, but I think you're pretty smart, and I think you can handle it.
Thank you.
No problem. All right, Pop AFP. You up next, man.
Yeah, I'm moving a lot recently, going back and well, not really going back and forth anymore, but for me home is just a place you feel you belong. It's not about the buildings or the landscape. It's about just being around people that you care about and that care about you. So where I'm at now, the only person who's with me is my girlfriend. And it's kind of lonely. Like it's not super lonely. I haven't been here for long, but like I miss being in the same state as my family where I could just go and see someone I wanted to. But for me it's just about being near people who care about you and you care about them.
Yeah,
Not a whole lot more. The community in the set, like where I grew up, there wasn't a big community. I lived out in the country. Like there are people around and people you'll help, but it wasn't like a super tight knit community. So it was really just do anything for family, and I miss a little bit of that, and that's what I think home is where you feel you belong.
so do you just not talk to your family anymore, or are they
No,
just far away? Or
I still talk to them. I'm just in a different state right now. I can't go visit them like I did when I was when I'm in North Carolina.
Oh, nice. We're in the same state. That's pretty
Oh,
cool.
cool.
That's pretty cool.
Yep.
All right. What is something? Okay, this is gonna be like two prong. One, what is one thing you're stressed about right now, in a bad that will be in a bad way, and then what is one thing you are looking forward to right now? That could be it. Could be happening now or later. And I guess Chad King, I'll start with you again.
Stressed about. I guess like the entire outcome of the pandemic to see how it plays out, and to see how efficacious the vaccine is. That's the thing that I'm probably most stressed about. And then that also ties into what I'm most anticipating or looking forward to, is seeing how well the vaccine stops community spreading. Because I'm a little bit concerned about the idea of this pandemic potentially getting worse and it hopefully coming to an end soon. It's easy
Yeah.
to forget that it's still ongoing, but it is still ongoing. People are still dying every day.
Wait, did you get the vaccine? Or?
I not yet.
Okay. All right, Nuble. What are you? Well, what is one thing you are stressed out about? What is one thing you are hopeful for or looking forward to?
Most things I'm stressed out about are just university related. Like I have so much work to do. So much work to do. It's ridiculous, genuine. But I don't know who made this fucking course plan, but it's ridiculous. I'm just stressed about school in general, but it's not like an unhealthy amount of stress. It's like it's enough stress that pushes me to work harder, but every now and then I do wish I could get a break, especially since my university actually got rid of the spring break we were supposed to have, which is ridiculous. Oh my god, please give us a break. So it's a little annoying, but as for things I'm hopeful for, yeah, I mean, it just seems like the U.S. at least is doing pretty good in their vaccination rates. I'm pretty hopeful that come fall semester, my university will be somewhat in person again, and I'll be able to go back to life pre-COVID somewhat normally. Until then, I don't know. I just wish people would stop being dumb. They would wear a mask, they would get their vaccine, they would sanitize themselves properly. And they wouldn't go to giant beach parties in Florida. I don't know. I don't I don't feel like that's much to ask for, but people are crazy. I don't know.
Yeah. There's no cure for stupid, though.
There is no cure for stupid, genuinely. It's like all these anti-vaxxers. They're just genuinely so stupid. I don't even know what to say.
I don't know, man. It's just never gonna go away. But yeah, that's pretty cool. I'm glad you guys with the COVID and the people being crazy. All right, Pop App, you. What is one thing that's stressing you out, and one thing that I guess is making you happy, or you're looking forward to in the future?
Wait,
it could be maybe seeing your
can I
girlfriend.
add one thing that's stressing me?
Yes, go ahead.
One more thing, sorry. You've said Popap's name 5 times different ways.
I don't know what to call it. I don't know what to call him. You know, I was gonna slip up and say Popeyes. Sorry.
Whoa! You're in North Carolina, brother. You know Bojangles is
Yes.
key, not Popeyes. Like, come on now.
Bojangles? What the fuck is that?
Don't worry about it. It's Popap is normally how people say it. If you want to go that way.
Poopap.
Sorry, I'm just gonna have to call you Popeyes. I'm so sorry.
That's fine. I don't care. As long as I know you're talking to me. For me, the thing that's stressing, the thing that's stressing me right now is opening up this new business I'm doing in Texas. That's the biggest stressor I have on me right now. My schoolwork isn't really that demanding at the moment. It's fine to maintain and handle. Um, and something I'm not really looking forward to because it's already passed, but I'm happy about is I don't have colon cancer. I recently got blood work and was tested. I had some symptoms of colon cancer, and
Were
doctor
you
thought I may
pissing
have had
blood?
it. No, I was shitting blood.
Oh.
Yeah. And so I don't have colon cancer, so I'm excited. I'm extremely happy about that. That I would say that's what I'm most happy about right now.
Yes, man. That's good news. That C. difficile, and it's a bacteria that your body that's in your colon that you normally have, right? But if it helps regulate bowel movements, but if your immune system gets too weak, it can grow out of control. And apparently that's what happened to me, and I had bad diarrhea and bloody stool.
Hmm.
But
Yeah,
they took care of it.
Yeah, for me it's an ulcer. I have a intestinal ulcer.
You have it currently, so I thought you could remove those, or no?
I have medicine that's going to take care of it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah.
I'm glad you're doing better.
Oh yeah, I'm good.
All right, and this kind of flows from that is how do you see the world? How do you view it? What are your because Chad King, because well, it's all of you, but Chad King in particular, I think everyone is biased, to be honest. Like everybody, I don't want to say hate someone, but has certain preferences and how they treat people and how they want to be treated. So I guess what would yours be?
What preferences I have and how I wish to treat people, or
Yes, yes.
um well, so I have my own, like, I mean, I the moral system that I have, the moral set that I have, I don't think it's unique to me, but I am strongly in favor of it. So there are some things that myself and many others, like, I would say near universal agreement on them being things like slavery, murder, um, pedophilia, it's probably some of the most egregious crimes. Um, that's something that I have a what's the word I'm looking for here? An aversion towards. I'm averse to these sorts of concepts and people who defend or are proponents of it. And then I can say, I guess I have a preference to people who are more similar to me, and that is people that wish to prevent harm. Is that how what you meant by the question, or did you mean in a different way?
Yes, yes, yes. That's what I meant. Yes.
Yeah, I think that the idea of not causing harm is the most important value that we can have to like mitigate harm, and then to like take care of the needs of others as well. If we can do these two things, then we could probably make the world a better place to live in.
Yeah, I would say so. Yeah, I would say if everyone did those two things, I think almost all social problems would go away. Because when you think about it, most of it comes from human decision making. Like you may disagree with me, but I think poverty comes from how society treats people, how it makes and distributes resources. Same goes for homelessness. Then the same goes for hunger as well, and many other problems. So yeah, I think if we just understood one another more, I think the world will be a better place. Yeah. All right, Nubel. How do you see the world, or how would you like to see the world? I guess, and how that goes with how you treat people.
That's a little vague, if I'm being honest. Would it be like type of people I look for versus type of people I avoid?
Yeah, that would be specific. Yes.
I don't know. Given like I'm a very like stereotypical uh like young adult liberal, right? So I feel like a lot of people my age have similar outlooks as me. They're like, oh, racism is wrong, sexism is wrong, etc., etc. Like I feel like among college age liberals. That's very common. So when I do make friends, I do tend to avoid people who think who like make racist jokes without like gauging the room. You know what I mean? Like people would just say, like somebody in college like once came up to me and said "ching chong" or something, and I like didn't laugh, and he's like, "It's a joke," and I'm like, was that supposed to be funny? And then like after that, I just avoided them because they just give me bad vibes. I didn't like them. But like that's just like a very specific example. But I I don't really like people who don't have the same sense of humor as me, and that does go for what they try to say is racist humor, but I don't really think it's funny usually. Like I do enjoy a good racist joke every now and then, but still. And it's also like they don't understand that I don't feel comfortable with them yet to the degree where I'd let them make a joke like that. I don't know. Those are the type of people I avoid, and those also are like a type of person that I will encounter frequently on like a college campus, just like an edgy young adult. I just don't like them. That's one type of person I avoid, and I guess it's just someone who I try to avoid the most given how frequently I encounter them. Uh, as for, I guess, like in general, I try to avoid people who think like racism and sexism are okay and whatnot, or like, I genuinely don't care that much aside from that. It's like, oh, I avoid annoying people if I'm being quite frank. It's there are just some people I can't stand. And if I do encounter them in real life, I usually just try to leave. There are people who push the boundaries with what I consider okay, whether it be physical or like what they ask of me to like, oh, can you help me with my homework? No, I'm not gonna let you cheat off of me every single week. Please stop. There's a lot of freeloaders I've met in university. I don't really like them. But those are just the people I try to avoid, given my day-to-day life is usually just people my age in college. As for people I like, I don't always hang out with them, but I do really like people who are genuine about how they feel, especially if they're like, I don't know, like especially, but like, even if someone is like vulnerable or like emotional to the point where they like are sometimes like too emotional, you know what I mean? Like they cry too easily or they get too easily hurt. I still really enjoy those people because I always feel like when I talk to them, they're always truthful to me about how they feel and like what they, and they always are usually like super positive people or like super sweet people. I really enjoy those people. And I think they're like really refreshing to have in the world, given how bad some people can be. I don't know.
That's cool. That's cool. You guys are being honest, and that's all I really want to hear. Thanks. All right, Popeyes, you're up, buddy. Hey, man, I hardly joke around, so
Yeah, no, you're fun. You're fun. Can you restate the question really quick?
It's basically how do you treat people? Basically, it's basically it.
I try to treat people for myself as fairly as I can. There are obviously preferences everyone has. I'm not fully aware of all of my preferences, even though I'm sure I have them. This is a hard one to be on.
Well, I guess would one be honesty, and by that I mean you would like to be honest to people, and you want people to be honest with you, or just
Yeah, I mean, I value honesty. I don't overly value it. I think there are times to be dishonest with people. It's not all the time, but there are times that dishonesty is actually a good thing, not a bad thing.
okay.
Like when Nooble bullies me and I pretend that it's okay. That's a time I try to be, a little less honest, so I don't hurt Nooble's feelings about how much I cry at night because of her.
Oh, you should tell me. It would genuinely make my day.
I know. No, so I tend to in my personal life just try to listen to people, value their opinions as much as I can if they're decent people. I don't really have a whole lot of time for fools, for people who aren't genuine. That's
Okay.
about it. Yeah. That's a
All
broad
right.
question for me.
Yeah, I like making people think because I should ask more specific questions, but I do like trying to
No,
just
you're
gauge.
fine. I enjoy that. It makes you think a little bit more.
Yeah. All right. What are one of the excuse me? What are one of the your favorite places that you have visited? Again, Chad, you can go first.
Favorite places that I visited. I haven't done a lot of traveling, to be perfectly honest. Less than probably most people here. But I would just say Lebanon.
What was that like?
Like being in touch with the roots, in touch with family. Um, People that I'd never known were family. People that I'd been disconnected from for like an entire generation. There was more family there than I knew that I had. Like I grew up with one set of cousins, and that was basically it, with no knowledge really of any other families, like one uncle, etc. And then there's like an entire family and familial structure that was just alien to me, and all that came with. People knew about me that I didn't even know about. Aunts, uncles, like second cousins, just extended family, and they like there's a different familial structure there altogether. So that was probably the biggest feature. It's like how much family I had that I didn't even know I had.
Cool. Glad you felt that way, man. I'm glad you felt at home. No pun intended. All right, Nubu, you're next. So, what are one of the what are one of your favorite places that you have visited?
I'd broadly say I really like a lot of East Asia, or not even East. I mean, I like Southeast Asia too. But I just came back from a 2-month trip in Korea, and that was a lot of fun. Genuinely, it was beautiful there. I love Seoul. Um, Aside from that, I usually go to China at least once every 2 years to visit family. And while I'm there, I usually stay for several months at a time because I have to visit my mom's family and my dad's family. It's like dozens and dozens of relatives. And my dad also lives in China, so it's not that big of a gap. I also really like it because I speak the language. I can read and write a decent amount, enough to get by. Not fluently. I can't read or write fluently, but I can definitely speak and listen fluently. So it's really nice, just like living in a different country that I can be independent in. Uh, it's truly like a very different experience from America, and I really appreciate it. I do get homesick for China every now and then. I haven't seen China in 2 years, maybe 3, approaching 3 now because of COVID. But yeah, I really love China. Beyond that, I've gone to several places that I really like. I really liked Cancun in Mexico, but it's definitely just a tourist trap over there. It was just really pretty. So if you do go to Cancun, or if you're thinking about it, I recommend it. I really like Singapore. My mom does a lot of work in Singapore, so whenever she has a business trip, sometimes she'll take me. And Singapore also speaks English as their first language, but also most citizens speak Chinese. So again, I can bilingual, really nice. Um, uh, I really like Singapore, but again, it was super small, so I wouldn't call it my favorite. I guess my favorite would still be China, just because China's so big. There are several places in China that I absolutely adore. Uh, so I guess China would be my favorite country. I don't know if I could name a specific place in China though. I love so much of China. Yeah.
What do they think of Americans, or they don't have any viewpoint?
I don't know, it depends on who you ask. It's like you can't really say everybody thinks of America warmly. There's people who, I don't know, like people in the Communist Party probably don't think too highly of us. Broadly, they think Americans are stupid, which I kind of agree with. But Uh, just like our education system compared to theirs is like a lot less intensive. They think poorly of drugs generally, especially like weed. That's a big one. In China, weed is illegal. It's like death penalty illegal. So they think very poorly of Americans who actually do weed. They think it makes you stupid. Um, it's like the priorities and the values and the customs are also different, even across the different regions of China, like northern China versus southern China. I can't really say how they think of Americans, but they usually think of us as stupid but rich. Would be a good
Yeah,
way
that's
to put it.
basically it. Yeah, that's basically it. Well, not everyone is rich, but the country overall is rich. Yes.
Yeah, compared to China, the average person here is way wealthier.
Yeah. China just recently passed America in terms of total number of billionaires, but America is
Oh,
still
but the
wealthier
wealth
overall.
disparity. Yeah, it's just like
Yes.
my dad's side of the family is farmers, so they're like they didn't have running water or electricity until like 2010. Like I used to visit them all the time. I'd play in a mud field. Um, but yeah, it's just like their average income is maybe like $2 in American money, but like it's fine because the living cost is also like $1, so it's not that big of a deal. And all like the families live together, so you don't really have to pay rent and stuff. It's nice. It's
Playing
just
in a mud
different.
field sounds like my childhood.
I caught tadpoles, and they were pig farmers, so they raised pigs. And I didn't like the pigs, but that was okay. They just smelled so bad.
Well, yeah.
I just couldn't.
Yeah. Random little notes or facts. America has about 6% of the world's population, but 30% of the world's wealth. And
Mhm.
if you took the GDP, which represents income, and then you took all of our wealth, ignoring all the debts, of course, and then you split it evenly among all of the American families, each family would have about $1.1 million. About.
Yeah, it's just like the income compared to what Chinese people earn usually, typically, like factory workers. Uh, it's just so exponentially high that they imagine we live in wealth, and like to a degree, we do have luxuries that the average Chinese person doesn't have, but it's not as luxurious as they imagine it to be, for sure.
Most people live paycheck to paycheck. It's kind of, uh,
Yeah.
yeah. I guess this is a random question, but what do you think of what I just said, guys, about how wealthy America is versus how not relatively wealthy most people are? Because half of Americans are poor, low income, and stuff. While Bill Gates and Jeff Bezos are each worth over 100 billion.
Um, if I'm answering the question,
Yeah, yeah. Sorry.
my primary concern is that everybody's needs are met. So there are always going to be bean counters, people that want to collect points, collect like a. I don't care if you have $1 billion in your bank account. It doesn't mean anything to me if you have a greater degree of luxury, as long as everybody's needs are met. So, insofar as wealth disparity, I'm less concerned about wealth disparity and more concerned about ensuring that people have a good quality of life. But secondly, also have good opportunities. So sometimes people are afforded like very basic rights, but will have basic basic necessities met, but don't really have a lot of ability to meet their potential. And I think that if we can account for both of those things in the entire world, which certainly in large parts of the world, in most of the world even, that isn't the case, um, then I'm not concerned about disparity of income or wealth.
Cool. Newable, what do you think, or do you agree with Chad King, or how do you feel?
Oh,
Or
I'm sorry. I'm gonna be honest. honest, I wasn't listening. Like, so I just think that it should be higher. And like, so many people are swimming in debt. I don't think college debt should be as bad as it is. I just don't think it should be as bad as it is. I just don't think, like, why? How can every other country be so much better in their education costs? Same with healthcare. How can it just be so much better in every other country? Those are my main, like, liberal thoughts. It's just, I just don't think the quality of life in America is as good as it could be, because genuinely, I love America. I love, like, the culture here, and I love, like, like, the diversity of thought, because I think, like, conservatives are so different from I am. It's just so interesting how they could have, like, a totally different life from me, and even though we're in the same country, it could just be so different. I genuinely love America. I just think that it could be a lot better quality of life wise, and I don't know. I think it's a great country, and that we could do better still.
Cool. Popeyes, what do you think of wealth disparity or income, or do you know, is that not one of your passion projects or topics, so to speak?
So it leads into one of the things I'm more passionate about, but it's not necessarily what I'm passionate about. In my personal belief, I think there should be no actual currency. And I'm big on decentralization and lowering everything, tearing it down a lot of the waste in all society, not just American society.
I'm glad you guys are being honest, and I love your answers so far. I only have a few more questions, guys, so don't worry. I won't keep you for long.
Yeah, you're fine.
Okay. This is a two-pronged question. How have you changed in the past year, and how do you hope to change in the following year? So, like, where do you see yourself 1 year from now? Whatever you're doing now, that is. And Chad King will start with you.
So I've become more resilient than I thought was possible in the past year, and even the year preceding that, because I had come into a lot of tragedy. Just human tragedy is a feature of life. People pass away. Poor health can come your way. Opportunities that were once open can close. So I faced a considerable degree of tragedy in the last, I would say, year and a half, 2 years. But I've come out of it.
I'm here.
Sorry.
It's okay.
Feels my mom.
That's okay. I came out of it way more resilient than I thought I could ever be. And I feel also very resolute in this resilience now. So where occasionally I could have a thought that somebody might consider to be anxious or depressing, sometimes these thoughts can creep into the back of your mind and they can fester or sort of build a nest. I catch myself when I have a negative thought now, and I just expel it very, very early on. And I feel like that resilience will be with me now for the rest of my life. I don't think I could ever go through a period of depression again. Even though, had you asked me a little over a year ago, it was a complete different picture. I thought that there was no way that I could ever come back from this feeling of depression that I was in. So if you've ever heard it gets better, it's not that I don't think the situation got better, or the cause of what brought me down got better. I got better. I got better in order to persevere through it, and now I feel stronger than I've ever been, and more resolute. And so in the next year, to answer the next question, in the next year, I would imagine that would just continue, that I could continue building upon that.
Cool. And I guess, where do you see yourself a year from now? Not just keeping that in mind, like, do you plan on having a new job or moving, or?
I've always jumped on things that catch my interest or specific niches and opportunities. But if the next year comes, the there are some academic pursuits that I wish to continue, like that I had to put on hold for a little bit because of some health issues and some other restrictions. And since those are starting to ease up a little bit, I'm hoping to continue that. So these sorts of academic pursuits that I was heading towards.
Okay, cool.
So yeah,
Nubu. Yeah, thanks, Chad King. Thanks, man.
Yes.
I'm learning about you guys a lot, so it's pretty cool. All right, Nubu, where do you again? How have you changed in the past year, and where do you see yourself in 1 year from now?
I really wish I had been more social while I could, because like you in quarantine, it's just so hard to like make friends. I feel like that's what my biggest regret about being like a college age student during the pandemic is that I don't get to make friends. I don't get to make connections. I feel very like my social life has been so dry, so annoying. But that's what I just realized that I should have taken my community. I should have been more grateful when they were around because they really uplift my spirits, especially my friends. So that's for one. Another thing. Where do I see myself a year from now?
Yes.
Hopefully, I'd probably still be in school if I'm being honest, like exactly a year from now, but hopefully I'd be preparing to do a job, an internship of some sort. And hopefully I'd have more friends, I'd have more, I'd be more integrated in my community. There's everything like that. Hopefully my friends will be in a better place mentally as well, because my friends have also been struggling through this quarantine. Yeah.
Okay, cool. And Popeyes, where do you see how have you changed in the past year, and where do you see yourself in 1 year?
So in the past year, and I would say the year before that, I had a lot of things happen. I got injured again while playing football, and I had to quit. Recently, I actually had a tryout back on the football team, and got told yesterday that I have a spot if I want it. But I don't even know if I'm going to take it, and I've grown in a lot of ways to be okay with myself and not just what I'm good at. So I'm not just good at football anymore. I'm not just athletic. Like I have other things about me that I actually I think are good qualities. And that's the biggest way I think I've grown is being okay with me and not just being okay with what I can do.
Cool. I'm glad you feel that way, man.
Yeah, thank you. Buddy.
Everyone has something special about themselves.
Mhm.
Or at least that's what I believe. All right. And this will be my penultimate question. How do you hope to be, I guess, remembered in life? Or, when you're much older, what would you have liked to have accomplished, in other words? And again, Chad King, we'll start with you.
so I've never really been ultimately concerned with how I remembered or even if I remembered. But I like the idea of intergenerational equity. That is to say that I wish to leave the world as good a place or a better place than I found it. That is, if I found the world in a state where it was great, I wish to leave it as great as it was or greater. And to just if everybody just made small contributions and generation to generation, the world gets slightly better each generation, that we ultimately will be, in good time, be much, much better than we were. And just continue to make this sort of progress. The thing that can hurt progress the most is going backwards. So that's the sort of legacy that I want to leave behind, is one of progress. Progress where the world is a better place for future generations.
All right. Yeah, you're right. I guess I shouldn't say how were you going to be remembered. I guess a better question would be, how will you live life? I guess do it all like your long term goals. So yeah.
If I can be remembered for that too, sure. I mean, I wouldn't complain about having some recognition for it too. But even if it wasn't, it's not something that I don't do it for the recognition or for the remembrance. But it's um, yeah, I do it because I was the benefactor of a world that many people contributed to for for eons to make it what it is today, and I want to continue in that tradition of building and making contributions.
Yeah, nice. All right, Newbor, what are your long term goals? I guess that's a better question. What are your long term goals?
I don't know. I want to have a good job, have a good family, obviously, but those aren't like my life goals. I don't know. I don't live for that, like purely. I want to make a good impact on my community, and I want to make people's lives better. Just like make them happier, make the world a better place, I guess, in general. I'm a very big environmentalist. I'm still working on it. I've been trying to cut meat out of my diet for a really long time now. I've cut it down. I like when I live by myself, I don't like nitpick what my mom cooks and everything. But when I live by myself, I usually cut down meat to like maybe once or twice a week. And then from there, I'm also like trying to reduce waste and switch to environmentally sustainable products. I feel like that's the least you could do, though. I don't think that's like making a net positive. I think it's reducing my net negative. But beyond that, I don't really know what I want to do in life. I think it's honestly something I'll discover later. I think I'm a bit young right now. But I don't know.
Okay, that's cool.
Maybe I'll make a big discovery or something for science. I do want to work on like new technology. I think that's something for sure that I'm very curious about, technological advances. Hopefully I'll be making good ones and not some evil AI.
Yeah. Terminator 3, anyone? Yeah, I wouldn't want that to happen.
I absolutely would.
Come on, man. Don't tell me that hasn't crossed your mind at least once. You don't have to admit it. I'll admit it, but you don't have to admit it.
Oh, I think about evil AI all the time. My friends do a lot of like machine learning research and stuff. And I'm just like, so how long until it's evil? They're like, oh, it already is. I'm like, oh, okay.
You
like,
cut
you know
them
how
off
like,
immediately.
oh,
You cut out.
You cut out, Sid.
I
The
did.
evil AI got
Like,
to her. They
just, like,
silenced
a lot
her.
of things are like facial recognition things can be racist, especially for criminals, which is not good in my opinion. But
Yeah. All right, Popeyes. Where do you see yourself in 1 year? And yeah.
In 1 year, well, I'll be done with university. That's a big one. I'm ready to be done with. I would like the business that I'm working on to just continue to grow at the moment. That's like my main focus. And maybe a father in a year. I don't know. Yeah, I don't have my goals really set in place right now, if I'm honest with you. I'm kind of learning what I want to do and just riding the tide at the riding with it at the moment, riding the wave.
Cool. And yeah, those were my main questions. So yeah, I got to know you guys. You answered pretty much all the other ones. That's why I didn't ask. So they were kind of redundant. So what did you guys think of that little interview? What did you think of it?
It's fun. I enjoy doing it.
I'm rambly. I'm sorry for the length of this video. I'm so rambly.
No, I thought it was great, and I enjoyed the questions. The AI concept was one that I want to hear about from yourself, Mighty Thor, and also the question about how you'd like to leave the future. I mean, what kind of legacy would you like to leave behind, or how would you like to be remembered? That's one I'd love to hear your answer about.
Okay, so the AI, yeah, I think we'll develop AI one day, and I know this is paranoia, but I do think if AI can become as smart as humans, then it's game over because of it could just grow exponentially. And I don't know. I just don't, and I also don't like then we'll have to wrestle with the idea of, what does it mean to be alive? Because if something can think like us and it can feel like us, is it like alive? Is it human? I mean, dogs have feelings and we consider dogs alive to an extent, right? Not the same as not as important as humans, but still alive. So I just can't imagine what would it be like if actual machines could quote unquote love or hate like us. That would just make me feel too uneasy. So yeah, I wouldn't want intelligent robots. And as far as my legacy, I mean, since I have to be honest, and these are all pipe dreams, but I would want to figure out a way to end poverty if that was possible. And I don't know if that's honestly possible. I honestly think some people don't want it to end, but if I could reduce it somehow, that would be great too. Because I think the money, or rather the lack of money, causes a whole bunch of social problems in the world, whether that's fighting diseases or uh, providing foreign aid to other countries, or college and healthcare, how affordable they are and stuff like that. So I think if you can end poverty and make everyone financially well off and stuff, then there'll just be a lot less headaches in the world. And another thing I would want to do, I don't know if I say this on the server often, but I've always wanted to become an astrophysicist, specifically an astrophysics college professor, because I just want to teach people about physics, and one day maybe they can unlock the mysteries of the universe, like dark matter, dark energy, or revolutionize space travel. It's one of the reasons I like science fiction so much. And I also want to be remembered as having compassion, because I think most people, don't have enough compassion in them to truly understand how they treat others and what they say and what they do. And I think I have got to the point where I have enough compassion to not want to go out here and be racist or sexist or just completely heartless. Because I just watch the news all the time, and I just think to myself, man, if there was some law that could make it to where every time you did something to someone else and it hurt their feelings, you have to have that done to you, so much so many bad things would stop. And first off, no one would get fired if they knew that they themselves would get fired. Judges would not be so heartless when it came to sentencing people. Teachers would be more understanding. Police officers would be more understanding. I think everyone would be more understanding. And they would also think through things more. And part of why I'm compassionate is, I guess, my parents. They taught me to be compassionate, and they taught me to be honest, and that everyone is motivated by their insecurities. I think every person, whether they want to admit that or not, has insecurities, and that's what causes them to do what they do, whether they want to admit it or not. So, and I think part of dealing with insecurities is being compassionate, is knowing how you feel and how you make others feel, and learning how to deal with that. So basically, yeah. So what do you guys think of that?
Right
I
on.
think that's
Yeah, those are good goals.
Yeah.
They're
was kinda
I won't lie to you, they're lofty, but they're good goals.
Yeah. Yeah, like I said, they might be pipe dreams, but I guess that if that's what I feel, then that's what I feel. I'd rather not lie to myself.
Mhm.
Yeah. All right, I'm going to end the bot, and then I was going to ask some other questions, okay? And then I guess you guys could go. Okay, is that cool?
Yeah.
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 Okay, hold on.